Okay, go.
Welcome to In the Field Radio 91.3 FM WVKR Poughkeepsie Independent Radio. I'm Erin Boogie here with Miss Lady D.
What's going on?
We really got to record that
Yes.
so we could just hit play.
Yes. But what happens, like, if I'm in a different mood next week? They're not going to be able to hear it.
Maybe we could do a couple different takes.
I'll be like...
We'll do, like, the angry intro, the aggressive intro, the sad intro.
Yo, what's up?
Tune in.
Or else.
Yo, we always go so left. I love it. It's what makes the show what it is.
Right.
Speaking of going left, I have an update. And I don't want to say I told y'all, so...
All right, what did you say last week?
Okay, so we were talking about the Robinhood fiasco with the GameStop stocks. And I had expressed my opinion that free trade is an amazing thing, but responsibly. And that people could potentially get in over their heads and bad things could happen.
Mm-hmm.
It happened. It happened before this, but it happened. So this actually happened in June, but a kid woke up and saw that he had a negative $730,000 balance on Robinhood. He was 20 years old. He reached out to them. No one got back to him. He panicked and he committed suicide.
Oh my God.
A day after he died, Robinhood reached back out to him to say that whatever he had in his account, because again, like I said last week, disclaimer, I am not familiar with the stock market. It is over my head, which is why I'm not on the Robinhood app. It turned out that he had enough to cover the balance and he actually didn't owe anything. So now his family brought a wrongful death suit against Robinhood. And since then, Robinhood has changed their customer service policies.
Wow.
Yeah. And one of the things that they're alleging in the suit is that the app allows people who are not well-versed in the stock market to begin trading on the stock market and to take big risks.
Right. And that if you're going to allow that, you're going to have... Because what, they didn't have actual people in the customer service or?
No. And now, so he sent an email and called and couldn't get anybody. And now they have a live support team. So that way, if you did panic and reach out, that you'll get a live person.
Now, didn't they start limiting like what you can do? Like if you're a new trader, like I thought they started limiting how many shares you can buy of certain things. So I'm just trying to figure out how they determine whether somebody's experienced or inexperienced.
Not. Yeah. That's something that we'll have to look into.
Yeah.
We'll look into and provide a third update. But I don't want to.
My significant other just got on there and bought.
Oh, no.
What did he say? He bought like $500 worth of cryptocurrency of some sort. And so I'll let you know how that goes.
So now it's like really pertinent to your personal life.
Yeah.
To invest in.
I hope that works out for you. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But, you know.
No, if you feel overwhelmed, I would suggest that you get with a financial advisor.
Yeah. Wow.
So moving on. Next. Let's talk about the children in the area because it's concerning.
Yeah, man. Hug your babies.
Now, what happened? You said, and I saw it briefly, but I didn't see the details. I'm not sure if you did. But the little girl was kidnapped from Poughkeepsie?
Yes, a little girl was kidnapped from Poughkeepsie. And, I mean, a few days later, I ended up seeing, she was found and they got her back. But it was because everybody, came together, put the pictures out, the posts out and everything, and they got her back. So
who ended up kidnapping her? Did you see? Was it like family related or?
It didn't seem like it was family related.
That's even scarier.
But I didn't see what happened. That's kind of scary for me. I didn't want to look at it because I'm like, ooh, I got kids that I care about in Poughkeepsie.
Well, I think it's even scarier that especially if it was a person that was unknown to the child, that's even scarier to think that could happen here close to home.
Yeah, I mean, it was bothering me. Everybody's at home now, but when the kids of Poughkeepsie go to school, it was just so many of them walking. It's like a walking district.
Yep.
And unattended. They got these nice shoes and nice things and all that. And I'm like, yo, is this safe? Like, my kid would not be walking by themselves out here.
That's how I feel. And then the Newburgh case felt like an episode of Law and Order.
So what happened in Newburgh? I didn't see this.
They didn't release a lot of details in the beginning, and I haven't seen any other details. I'm guessing it's because they're investigating still.
Yeah.
But a little boy who was, I'm pretty sure, I believe he was 7 years old, was brought to the hospital 4 hours after he was deceased. They believe that at the time that he had died of malnutrition, so obviously pending an autopsy. And he had signs of being shackled on his legs. Yeah.
What?
So the person, they did not say who the caregiver was. They didn't say if it was family, stranger, foster parents. They didn't indicate that. But that there was other children in the home
that were not,
and that he was in school.
Oh no.
So I don't know, like, I guess if it was, like, I don't understand how there could be like other kids in the house and you just like pick which one you are gonna shackle and starve. First of all, that's my thing. So like, I guess I would really be interested to hear what condition the other children were in.
Yeah.
But then also it kind of highlights the fact that, you know, these kids are not in school. So,
and those are usually like where you catch things like that, where a kid shows up marked whatever.
Yeah,
it like happened to me. I mean, I got popped because I had a party while my dad was at work and he popped me in the mouth, but it was like right before I went to school.
Yeah.
So now my lip is busted. Yeah. And I show up and
they got questions.
Yes. And that happens. So it's like,
it's also a place where kids that like, where parents maybe don't have enough to feed them every, 3 square meals a day every day, where they go to get 3 square meals a day.
Right.
And so that's not happening now. And then it's also a place where kids that are being abused go for their, whatever, they in school for 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
That's 6 hours a day that they're not at home with their abuser.
Yeah. So that's so sad.
Yeah.
But there are people in the community, I guess I would like to point out, that are, making programs for kids. We have a really good county legislator, I think, Barrington Atkins. He made the Tying It All Together program. Like, a bunch of kids learned how to tie ties.
That's adorable.
Project Color. They're so, and rebuilding our children and communities with Sitar. We love them. So,
and she feeds the kids during the summer too.
Yeah, they had a whole camp and everything.
Yeah.
So just, if you are struggling with what the heck am I gonna do about this, all these hours a day,
there are resources.
Things. Yeah, there are things that we're doing in the community to help out, and it takes a village.
You know what? Maybe we could highlight on our website. We could get them all together, like, and do a post with
all
some of the resources that we do have out here.
Yeah,
because I know there's some in Newburgh and stuff too. So it would be good
for all the different areas.
Yeah. And you know what? If you are a resource, let us know.
We'll put you up there.
All right, so we're going to get into some music now, and then we'll come back. We got Poni Capri, who's a female UK rapper by way of Atlanta.
Oh, we love that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that
we get a lot of love from the UK.
Yeah.
So check that out, and we'll be back.
Okay, so talk a little bit about growing up in London.
Oh, wow. So lived there my whole life. I'm in East London. Okay, it's such a broad question. What do you want to know?
What was your household like growing up?
Okay, so growing up, my mother's from Ghana, my dad is from Jamaica, and they met in the UK because, England is so multicultural, especially London. And there was 5 of us living at home. So, 4 sisters, 1 brother, mum and dad. Happy home, mostly. We used to have so many parties at home. People used to call us the madhouse because we were just running around, and like, it was really, really fun and exciting at home. Like, literally, we have so many cousins and uncles and aunts, and we had parties every other month, and people will come down for them. And then once a year, if it would be Christmas or in the summer, we'll have these huge barbecues that, like, literally the town will be talking about. Us kids had to go and knock on all our neighbours' doors from like the whole street down round the block and let everybody know, listen, we're having our annual party. There's going to be a lot of noise, maybe some trash, but we will be picking up the trash from the streets. And I remember that people used to get so drunk. They used to come to our house and have these parties and get so drunk that we have to, like, the next day as kids would go down picking up all the litter off the streets, like around the block. It was insane. We had mental house parties. But yeah, so we lived in a house. My parents worked really hard. My mum was a nurse, but she wasn't like a medical grade nurse. She was like a nurse, more like a care home nurse in the hospital, but the carer type. And my dad worked for Ford's. But we had 4 sisters and we all stayed in the same bedroom. Like, when I look at it now, I'm like, well, how did we all do that? Like, how was all 4 of us in one room? Like, you know, thinking back, I'm like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's how it was. But at the time of the kid, you didn't think about that, like 4 of you sleeping in the same bedroom. And my brother had his room, my parents had theirs, and then we all shared. But that was growing up. But my parents divorced when I was 10 or 11 years old. And things changed a lot in the household. Yeah, my mum, all the pressure was on her raising us all. Yeah, that's how I grew up.
And then you started playing the organ at age 4 and the flute at age
7. Yeah. So what happened? So my mum, not knowing the difference between the piano and the organ, she thought the organ was I swear down. She didn't know. She didn't know the difference. That's why I ended up playing a random instrument called the organ. So I remember we went into our town centre, because I just think this is a clear memory. We went into our town centre and the music shop, and she was like, oh, I want to give you some lessons, because you can see all the keyboards and stuff. So the only person that was available was an organ teacher. So my mum was like, yeah, okay, that's what we're doing. We're getting an organ. Got an organ in the house. Started playing from 4 years old. All of us started playing instruments because she thought it would be good for us to get into a good school. You know, when you have instruments and things like that. So yeah, it's so random.
Can you still play the organ and the flute?
Yeah, I still have the keyboard. I have the flute. I started the flute when I was 10. I started the recorder first, like we call it primary school. So you call it elementary. Yep. Yeah, so I started playing the recorder. Then I moved on to the flute when I was like 10. And I carried on playing until like 18, probably. But by then I was falling off because I was rapping and I couldn't concentrate on flute scales and stuff like that, so I was really slacking. But yeah, I read music, I can write music. Oh, wow. I can do all of that stuff. Yeah.
And then when you were a teenager, you got into a 7-man rap group. Like, how does that happen? How do you transition from like organ and flute to like the thing?
I think I was about 13 years old. My cousin came over and he was like, I want to be a rapper. Come rap with me. You should rap. And like, we were kids. And I was like, okay, hell yeah. So he gave me some CDs. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be a rapper because I love music. Like, I love playing the organ and performing for my mum and her friends on the weekend. That's what I used to do. I said I'll be a rapper. My cousin said he's going to be a rapper with me. He never rapped a day in his life after that day of saying he's going to be a rapper with me. And it just stuck with me since he said that. So then one of my besties, Jennifer, was like, okay, we're going to be rapping together, Caramel and Poni. She didn't stick it out. And then I don't know how I even met these guys. Oh, okay. This is how I met them. I met them at another house party. So my sister, I told you I had a crazy upbringing. My older sister, she's like 12 years older than me. She moved out pretty early as a teenager and got her own place, maybe because there's 4 of us in one bedroom. But she used to have to babysit us. So she would take us to all these parties as kids. So we were like these little kids in these big teenagers drunk parties running around. Like it was mad. And then I met this guy at a party that lived in her apartment block. And then we became friends. And he's like, oh, I rap too. Hey, that's how I ended up with them guys.
And so that's where your name came from?
Yeah, so one of the guys, I was at his mum's house. He's like, we're going to call you Poni, Little Pony, because, you know, My Little Pony. And I've always been so small. I'm only 5'3" now, fully grown. So I was probably like 4'11" then, so they gave me the name Little Pony. So yeah, that's how I got my name.
So then when did you end up coming to the United States? Was that recently or?
It's a recent thing, but I started coming here when I was 17 by myself. Funny enough, I said my mum allowed me and my sister. I have another sister who's 1 year older than me. Mm-hmm. She allowed us to travel by ourselves across the world at 17 years old. She's like, okay, you want to go to America? Bye. Safe travels. By ourselves, just networking with people. We thought we were old enough, grown enough, knew the world. We thought we could do everything at that age. So that's how I started coming here and building relationships and stuff like that.
And what artists were you listening to around that time when you first started getting into rapping?
50 Cent, totally obsessed with them. Lil Wayne, D12, Eminem, Wu-Tang Clan were huge in Europe.
Yes. They're still huge over there, right?
Yeah, they are. They're still legendary. Yeah, in Europe, but they were like gods to us as grown kids. Like, when I saw Method Man in New York, I was starstruck. They're the only person that's made me really like nervous. Method Man and Jay-Z, the only two stars I kind of like shit myself with.
When I met Method Man, that same thing happened to me. So he's my favorite of all time ever. And I randomly came up on him in New York City and I started screaming and jumping up and down. Like I couldn't.
Right. There's something about him. Oh my God.
But now you gotta tell me about meeting Jay-Z because I need to hear that story.
Oh my God. I don't even know how to start with that. I didn't really meet Jay-Z. I kind of infringed on his public space, if that's what you want to call it. I knew where he was staying because I know people that know him. This was like when I was really young though.
Yeah.
So I can blame myself for that. And I knew where he was staying, so I kind of chased him down in his hotel. He didn't throw me out, but he just kind of like, security, what's going on? This is a private location. And then they moved from that hotel the next day.
That's so epic.
So terrified to even talk to him. Like his presence alone was just, oh.
Well, and then you got to work with Lil Wayne?
Yes.
So how did that happen? So were you in the studio with him? Was that like an email thing? Like
I've got like a double story of Lil Wayne. So the first time with Lil Wayne, they were looking for it to sign a female artist and I totally blew the opportunity.
Oh no.
Yeah, I totally blew it because as I said, I was young. I was in America with some friends. They didn't know who Lil Wayne was because they were British and he hadn't really made it overseas. But because I was a rap head, I knew exactly who he was. So when his tour bus pulled over, they're like, yo, I'm like, yeah, I rap, blah, 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 blah. Like, come to the studio tonight. So I planned to go to the studio. My friend was like, we ain't going to no damn studio on vacation. We're in Miami. We're going to the club. We're going to go meet some guys. We're going to go do whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So they left me in the hotel and went partying, and I didn't know. I was like not confident enough. It was me and my sister to go by myself to meet Lil Wayne in the studio. I was terrified. Like some things people think is easy, but it's not. You get nervous,
Yeah.
Like I've got this big opportunity with this person. I need my girls with me. I need some backup. I can't go by myself. So I didn't go, and I waited for them to get back, and they got back like 2 a.m. I was like, okay, let's go to the studio now. They're like, oh no, we ain't gonna go. So I drove. And by the time I drove there, he had passed out.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, he had totally passed out. And his producer Diesel, he's the guy that did Lollipop, like one of his biggest hits. He was there and we just became friends from that. Like we're still really good friends now. But that's not how the feature came. Now fast forward a year or two later, so I was in Jay-Z again studio. I actually made it into Jay-Z studio this time, but I didn't meet Jay-Z, but he was there. But we were in the same studio, and I was working in one of the rooms with one of his producers. We took a picture and we posted it on Facebook, and they tagged me in the picture. And then somebody saw that picture, saw my tag, and then reached out. And they were like, listen, we're looking for, I want to send you, my producer, I want to send you some beats.
Mm-hmm.
He sent me a whole bunch of beats. And then on one of the beats, I was listening through, Lil Wayne's verse was on the beat. I was like, hold on. Is that Lil Wayne on the track? Is that Lil Wayne on the track? That's crazy. Like, he didn't even tell me.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's the beat I want. I want the one with Lil Wayne on it. So I did my version. I sent it to him, and he was like, okay, yeah, great. Because Lil Wayne, they wanted to do this song. They wanted a female artist on it, and they didn't like the other girl, what she did. So send yours in and see what happens. I did it, didn't hear anything back. Getting off the train in Romford to get on the bus back home to my mum's house where I was living. And then I got a phone call from one of my DJ friends in England. He's like, oh my God, congratulations on a Lil Wayne feature. I'm like, huh? He goes, yeah, it came on my feed today. I saw it online. Congratulations, that's big news that you're on his mixtape. I was like, oh my gosh, he put it out. So that's how that happened.
And so they didn't even warn you ahead of time, nothing?
No, it was released, and my DJs, you know, when they get like DJ, you probably get tons of media blasts of new songs out and stuff like, right. So he got one of those from Lil Wayne's camp. Brand new record.
And then you also linked with Turbo the Great.
Yeah.
Was that like an Atlanta thing or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was in Atlanta. I was at a studio called Loud House Studios. So I engineer a lot of my own music and record at home. So one of the engineer guys had the hookup with all the plugins and setting up your computer right. Like he's like one of them tech guys that you go sit with, and he hooks you up on the low. Mm-hmm. You know, you ain't paying the 1,000, you pay the low. So I was getting it hooked up, and then there was a whole bunch of producers there. And Turbo was one of them. But this was before the hit. So he was just a regular producer, but, you know, up and coming, like most of us. And he was there right there, and he was like, yo, what you got? And I played some music. I was like, let's work right now. Let's record. Let's do something now. So we went straight into the other studio booth and just started working. We recorded a couple songs. He sent me some more beats. We just started working from then and built a friendship over that period of time. So it was like a random situation that he happened to be the one that ended up blowing up.
That's so funny. That's such a good time to get in with somebody.
Right. Yeah, it is.
So what producer would you like to collab with in the future?
Southside. God, I love anything he makes, just fire to me. Because it's kind of hardcore, but he just has these droning beats, like they just get into your head.
We're very producer focused on our show. Me and my co-host, we both date producers. We always have to give like shine to the producers too.
Oh, that's so dope. I love that. And Michael made it as well, because he can do the rap and he can do the pop. And even DJ Mustard as well, because he's doing some real interesting sounds.
And then who would your dream collab be, artist or producer, if you could collaborate with anyone all time?
You know what's so funny? I was listening to an interview by 50 Cent. Was it 50? Oh, God, girl, don't listen to me. Someone said today, that if you do a feature with Drake, your career is going to skyrocket. So, Drake...
But that is such a good answer, because it's so true. A feature from Drake, like everyone's looking for what Drake is doing, and he's definitely helped a lot of people skyrocket.
Yeah,
by jumping on
baby
stuff. Yep, exactly.
The first time I heard of him was through Drake.
Yes, no, he's done a lot for a lot of independent producers and artists. So that's good answer.
Thank you.
And what's your recording process like in the studio?
I'm a strange one. I like to be by myself. I like to be in isolation. Mm-hmm. I like it to be daytime. So I like to work from home. This is how I start. I like to work from home, my home studio. I like it to be daytime. I like to see the light outside. I need peace. I need no disturbances. Just vibe, and I freestyle it all out now. I don't really write. Like I used to just sit down and write, but now I'm also freestyle and get a vibe and then do one bar at a time. Yeah, that's how I do it. And then after I get that locked, I'll redo the whole song again.
When you're in a studio, what are some things that you need in order to set the vibe?
For me, sunlight. I need to record at home in the daytime and in silence. I don't like a whole bunch of people around me. Mm-hmm. Once I've got a song locked down, I can go into a studio, and then it's like, I'm going to show y'all what I'm going to do. And then I don't mind if there's like 20, 50 people there. I don't care, because I know exactly what I want, and then I like that attention. Mm-hmm. Everyone does it differently, right? Like when I was in the studio with Young Thug, Turbo, Gunna, all of them, and they were recording with like a party going on. That's probably the best way to put it. all around them, lots of people, lots of everything. And then they're recording. I'm like, how? I don't even understand how y'all doing this. It's like, this is just how we like it. We just like the vibe. I'm like, oh, this is nuts.
Yeah, I would find that extremely distracting. I would not be able to do what I need to do.
Yeah, I couldn't. I just, no.
So let's talk about your new single dropping.
Yay! Drippers and Schemers. I love this song. Like, I don't know, like a lot of artists get self-critical. They make a song like, I don't like that song no more, I'm over it. This one I'm not over. Like, I keep hearing it and I still love it. Every time I hear it, I get excited. So I'm so excited about it. It's hardcore. It fits right into the times. You can play it in a club, you can play it in the car. Yeah, everywhere, all platforms.
And it's a drill record.
Yeah, would you say it's drill?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's got drill influences.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't think it's like straight up drill, but I could definitely hear the influence on it. So do you listen to a lot of drill?
I listen to a variety of people. Like, whatever you put on, if it's good, I listen to. But I don't listen to a lot of drill. Just, like, I love drill, don't get me wrong. Like, I really love their flows and stuff like that, especially UK drill artists.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm from London and there's just so much violence and so many like unnecessary violence going on, I'm kind of on a drill brand.
Mm-hmm.
Because it upsets me because they're really rapping not all of them, but it's happening. Like, the stuff they're talking about is really happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't like all the murders that's happening in the UK. It's really upsetting me, and it's not good for the culture. And the drill is just really just talking about that. I just don't like that.
So is it centered around the drill music in the UK, or is the drill music just talking about what's going on in the culture?
How the drill in the UK is, it started with no face, no case, right? So if you're on camera, if you look at UK drill videos, most of the real underground guys that came up never had their face showing. So everybody will wear a mask because it's all about, this is what we get into. So we can't let you know who we really are, you know? Mm-hmm. Just like Chicago rappers, they really be doing stuff.
Yeah.
But the difference in the UK, they wear masks. You can't see them in the video. You don't know who they are. So it's real stuff is really happening. But it's so dangerous in London, like inner city London. It's so dangerous. So yeah, that's my thing. But I love the music. Like, you listen to it, you're like, oh my God, this is so catchy. But it's just so violent. But it's so catchy.
I think the UK drill scene has a lot of dope female rappers that I don't think we don't see that in the United States side of drill.
No, you don't.
It's so unfortunate.
I know, and that's exactly what I want to do. There's so many, not even just dope drill rappers, like just rappers in general. British rappers go hard. Like, we really love music and love spitting those bars. So yeah, I would love to shine a light on that.
All right, so what are some goals that you have for yourself at this point in your career?
I really want to have more recognition. I want to bring a light to female rap, British female rap. You don't really see it. You know, you had MC Light back in the day, but she's not MC Light. God, what was her name? God, forgive me for saying that, MC Light. Love you, but it wasn't MC Light.
We love MC Light.
I love MC Light, but it wasn't MC. The British rapper. Yeah, she was like she made it. She came to America. Moni Love. Okay, so Moni Love was from the UK, British, made it in America, but we haven't had another British rapper since then. Even Estelle, American Boy, she started off as a rapper. Mm-hmm. That's how I knew her, as a rapper in England. But then, she became a singer. Mm-hmm. Like Steph London. She was a rapper in the UK, but came out as a singer, like, to get her stardom. But we haven't had a rapper be a rapper and come out. Lady Leisha, yes, but she's still kind of independent. And we got MIA as well, which is British. Mm-hmm. So I just want to bring a light to more female British rappers. So I want to hold the beacon.
I think that's
my goal.
And what can we expect next?
Oh, a whole variety of stuff. I've got so I got drill, I got some trap, I got some R&B, and it's all rap, but it's so much fun. Like this year is really, really exciting, and I love working with people like yourself who can help get my story out and my new singles out, because I've got some really interesting storylines with my songs that I love to share with everybody.
With R&B, are you singing or are you still rapping on the R&B?
I'm kind of singing. I'm rapping, but I'm kind of singing as well.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, wait till you hear it. I'm singing like how
show.
I'm singing like how you know how like Nicki sings,
yeah,
or how Missy Elliott kind of sings. So it's not I'm not doing a whole Beyonce thing, but I'm melodic.
And then, is there anything else you want the people to know?
Everybody go follow me online, Poni_Capri. I want to show you more of my personality, but I love interviews. I think that's the best way for me, rather than just talking to a camera screen, which is weird, like talking to myself on camera. You know how people do that? I don't know how they do that. Just be like, hi guys. But I wish I could. So, but yeah, follow me online, keep up to date, watch my videos, my YouTubes, and thank you for the support. I really, really appreciate it.
And just one more time, what's the single called and when's it dropping?
So it's called Drippers and Schemers.
Drippers
and Schemers, yeah. I feel like it says drippers and schemers, strippers and demons, and there's a lot of them out here.
And that's on all platforms. Make sure everyone
platforms.
Go stream it, go run it up.
Yay!
Well, thank you for sitting down with me. I super appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Welcome back to In the Field Radio. I'm Erin Boogie here with Miss Lady D.
What's going on?
I just want to thank Poni Capri for granting us the interview. That was a good interview. It was a good time.
Do you want to hear how I feel about UK rap?
Yeah.
I feel like when we hear women rap in the UK, it's like, yes, it sounds fierce and awesome. But then when you hear the men rap,
it's not the same feeling.
You know, I'm like, I don't believe you. You're not ghetto. Stop.
So, because, like, I actually asked her about, like, the origins of, like, the UK drill.
Mm-hmm.
And in her interview, she said that, like, they're really out there doing those things. And over there, they wear a mask so that you can't see their face, because they're really out there doing those things. It's not just a trend. Like, that just happens to be like the sound of the underground.
For sure.
Which I thought was like pretty dope, because especially over there, I feel like we don't get like that aspect of it over here. Like, you know, like records will make it over here.
Mm-hmm.
And so you hear the record, but you don't necessarily get to hear the origins behind it or anything about the culture or anything surrounding it. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's always interesting. I talk to a lot of UK people when I'm on, well, before it was Periscope, but now it's like Omegle sometimes. I'll meet people.
We get a lot of interest from UK artists to come on our show, and I love it every time.
Yeah.
We have a chance to link with somebody from over there. It's always a really good interview, and it's always really interesting. I think it's good to branch out and learn about other cultures.
For sure. So, Jigga Kelly not guilty. So Trump got acquitted for his insurrection trial thing. So, I mean, to me, I think the biggest deal was to prevent him from running again in the future.
Yes.
And, you know, to make a statement that is not okay to do that.
Yes.
And people died that day, and they really didn't even know why they were there. I can't stress that enough. Like, there was just so many people there for just no reason, and they didn't even know what they were upset about. And I don't know. He got away with it,
but not surprisingly, right? So again, with the Republican Party, they needed to get 17. I actually just wrote about this morning. I didn't write about the acquittal, but I had to write about the
process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they needed 17 Republicans to vote with the Democrats. It had to be 100% of the Democrats plus 17 Republicans to convict.
So they got all of the Democrats and 7 Republicans. So they were short 10.
More. That's more than they thought. They were expecting about 5.
Really?
Yeah. But to me, it's well. So the Republicans also felt that that Congress did not, because he wasn't in office anymore, that it was like an overreach. They didn't feel like it was their jurisdiction to handle. So, which I guess it's unprecedented, right? We've never had an official leave office and then impeach them. So I get that part. But when is the Republican Party going to break with Donald Trump?
Yeah, like I expected them to go with it and vote to impeach him so they don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them were going through this dilemma of ethical and morals and also being a Republican. Like, oh, we got to support this guy because he's our Republican leader, but he's also doing a lot of messed up stuff. And what do we do? So I figured they was going to want to be done with it too. And I guess
that's the problem with the two-party system, though. Like, why? So if you identify as Republican, why do you have to vote down your party line if you are understanding of what happened is wrong? So if you come out, like Mitch McConnell is an example of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he did not vote to convict. He said he wasn't going to.
Mm-hmm.
But last month, he spoke out against Trump's actions and said that the insurrection was a direct result of his speech. So how do you feel like it was a direct result of, like, you're admitting that you know that he did that, but then you're also admittedly saying I'm not going to convict him for something that I'm openly speaking about, saying that he did.
Yeah. So I don't understand that. I don't know. Maybe they want to be in the club still. Maybe they feel like their seat is in danger if they do that.
Well, I was reading something else. I thought it was interesting, and they're saying that this whole thing, because of like the QAnon and the conspiracy theories and all that stuff, that it's actually fracturing the Republican Party. Because you have, the moderates who they're conservative, but they're not as conservative as that side of things.
Right.
And so that it's kind of creating like two parties, and one is like an extremist party and the other is more middle of the line.
That's what it kind of looks like to me. I just want to know what an extreme Democrat looks like. Like, what would an extreme Democrat be doing?
I was just going to say, it would be nice to see, like, if the moderate Democrats could break off from being a Democrat. Because, so an extreme Democrat would be like AOC.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, or and I love him, but Bernie Sanders. Like, they want to just like support everyone in the country, which is really I'm not here for that, right?
Okay.
But, if the moderate Democrats and the moderate Republicans, right? So you have people that have middle of the road views.
Yeah.
Like, I'm someone that has middle of the road views. I do not identify with Republicans and I don't identify with Democrats.
Right.
So it would be nice if the middle of the road Republicans and Democrats did fracture off and form the third party, and now you have more diversity, right? So now you have like your extremists, if that's where they want to be. You have your extremists on the other side, if that's where they want to be, and then you have the people that are kind of like in the middle, that have, you might be a little bit conservative, you might be a little bit liberal, depending on what.
Yeah,
you know what
but
I mean?
we could kind of work it out.
Yeah, like,
oh, I like that.
More open to, voting across party lines and taking into account other people's feelings, instead of just being like, this is what I believe in and this is how I'm gonna vote.
Yeah,
because that's not how the government is supposed to work anyway. So I don't know, maybe we're about to see a change in American politics.
Ooh, that sounds like a good idea,
right? Deborah for president.
Oh no.
Oh, so I can't vote for you?
No,
next time.
Do not vote for me.
Listen, I voted for Tupac instead of the Donald Trump Hillary Clinton thing, because that was just a whole mess of an election. I voted for my local officials, but I wasn't trying to partake in that nonsense.
Yeah.
So this time I actually voted because I felt strongly enough that I had to vote one way or another.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was a contributing factor to the downfall of 2016's election.
Oh my God.
But I wasn't happy about this year either.
Yeah, I mean, I just be hoping that whoever is the president doesn't make so many people angry to where they start trying to attack us and things like that. Like, if you could just make peace and don't do anything too radical, like.
I like the fact that he's quieter and he don't have no like his Twitter account is not.
That was just a whole. It was so annoying to see that because I'm like, this is a national security issue. Like, the stuff that he said on there, I'm like, I'm not allowed to say stuff like that.
100%.
So why would you?
He did have head of state protections at the time, so he was able to say some more extreme things than the average Twitter user.
Yeah.
Which obviously that won't be an issue now since he's been banned for life.
Well, I was thinking about like his security clearance and stuff. Like, you have a security clearance, and there's things that you're.
He could be launching rockets.
Yeah.
Arbitrarily. Yeah, I was waiting for that to happen. Like, I figured like he lost the elections, like he was gonna like blow up America.
Oh my goodness! Could you imagine?
Yes. But my whole thing with Biden is that I'm trying to give him a chance, and not my first choice for candidate, not my first choice for president, but like I want to see, but like the policies that he's like enacting, it's a little bit questionable for me already.
Well, I feel like for some reason I have this image of Joe Biden sitting at the desk and like a bunch of people like, okay, sign this one, sign this, sign this, sign this. Because there was just so many executive orders. Like, what was? Yes, and I was like, is he even reading this, or are they just telling him what to write?
Yeah, no, that's a valid description of what's been going on.
I think next time, the next election, I want to see 2 new names that were not trying to run, have not ran, were nobody's vice president, nobody. 2 new people, okay, to be candidates. That's what I want. And we could.
I think as voters, we need to demand better. Like, we need to start vote. Like, you know what? Like Mitch McConnell, like he should not have won re-election. Like, he's been in there for 2 million years.
Yeah.
Like, it's time for some fresh blood. And like, you know what? If they're not gonna vote in his state, like if they're not gonna vote non-Republican, like that's okay. But in the primary, vote him out. Right.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with these term limits. I'm wondering when they're gonna address it because.
Yeah, it's time. Like, we gotta start rotating people out.
It's not even reasonable because times change and views change, and you have these people. Yeah, and you know they can't help it. This is the thing. They can't help how they were raised, who their parents were, what was going on at the time when their views were shaped. Yeah. Do you think that they just up and change their whole mind now? Like, no, they're still the same people. Yes. And it was fine for back then, but it's not now.
The thing about it, too, is that when they're campaigning, especially for president, they're going to say whatever their voter base wants them to say.
Right.
So they're not going to tell you what their actual agenda is. They're going to tell you what their voter base wants them to tell them their agenda is. And then they get in office and they start doing different things.
Yeah.
And so we need to start holding people accountable for things like that.
Yeah, we definitely need to check out what people do after they get elected and call them out for it.
And that's what the thing, too, is like Joe Biden had a record of 37 years. Like, we couldn't check Trump's record, right? Like, we knew,
at all.
Like, just from like his personal life, like what his some of his views were. But like with Biden, like he's written policies for almost 40 years. Like, we knew what we were getting into. You know what I mean? And somehow he still ended up as the pick. I don't know. He's got 4 years to audition.
Yeah.
If he does not make it onto the next round, then hopefully we get some new blood in there next time.
New, completely different.
Yeah.
So you got 4 years. Think about it.
It's like a 4-year, like, The Voice audition.
Yeah. American Idol.
Yeah. I'm about to Simon Cowell him.
You suck.
It's a no for me, dog. Who is that, Randy?
That's Randy.
Yeah.
It's a no for me, dog.
Oh my God. But that's sad that's what American politics has come down to.
For real.
On that note.
What else we got?
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah. We've probably been out of time. We was just over here chatting about politics because it's easy to get. It's like a rabbit hole.
Yeah, because you're always just trying to figure it out. Well, like maybe. And you think of it and you're like, no one's going to hear this.
Yeah.
and change anything.
Facts. Well, thank you everyone for listening in. You can find us at info@inthefieldradio.com. Remember to send us any resources you think that we should publish, your political views. If you don't like our political views, we would like to hear that too.
No, we would not.
I would like to hear it. I want to hear what y'all have to say. Send us new music,
jokes, recipes,
book reviews, anything you want.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Go to our website. I'm going to make our website look cool.
Go for it.
I've been working on it. It's got to be all interactive and it's going to be cute. So we'll have somewhere to put music videos that you guys send us that we can't play on the radio because...
But, and then all socials are In the Field Radio. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Are we anywhere else? No. Right?
No, not yet. Dun dun dun. Oh, YouTube. Oh yeah, especially YouTube.
Yeah.
Spotify.
Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon, wherever you listen to podcasts, we're there.
Yeah.
And definitely don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, comment. We need all that support.
All of it.
And we'll check you guys next week.
Talk to you later.
In the Field Radio, 91.3 FM, WVKR, Poughkeepsie Independent Radio.
Thank you for chilling with those chicks on Mondays.